Hey guys, it's Chris here. I just wanted to put out this video. It's basically with the 4K set coming out in September, the end of September. I wanted to get my rankings, my personal rankings for the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and I also decided I was going to do the documentary rankings as well. We're going to start with the documentaries now. To my knowledge, there's 4 different documentaries that have been released. One of which I do not have a physical copy of, but I did see it actually earlier today. I watched it. It's called I Am Nancy. It's on YouTube. It's about an hour and 13 minutes. But we're gonna get into the rankings now. Out of the 4 documentaries out there, there's the I Am Nancy. There's a Scream Queens, Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, the Robert Englund story, and Never Sleep Again. In this order, this is where my least favorite to my favorite. And I don't want to get into specifics why I don't like one compared to the other. I do enjoy all 4 of them, but this personally would just which ones I like the most. Starting off with coming in number 4 is Scream Queen. This is the documentary essentially based on Mark Patton and his journey on with making Friday Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge, and his career since then and his life since then and the troubles he's had and troubles he ran into with the franchise and everything and with acting and with the backlash and stuff from that movie and stuff. It's a good documentary, but to me it is my least favorite of the 4. Coming in at number 3 is the one I just saw is I Am Nancy. It's basically a documentary about Heather Langenkamp and her trying to discover who Nancy is to a lot of people, what she means to the franchise, and everything, and why there isn't enough merchandise with Nancy as out there, right? So it's a good. It was a good, fun documentary. I had fun with it, and I do plan on buying the DVD probably the next month or so. Coming in at number 2 for the documentaries is Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, the Robert Englund story. This movie is amazing, or documentary is amazing. Most people will probably have it without the slipcover with that awesome artwork. Um, I wanted to try my best to have it with the slip. There is a little bit of damage on the slip, but that's okay. Um, if you want to learn more about Freddy Krueger and the actor Robert Englund, this is a good documentary. You really learn a lot about Robert Englund's career and stuff that I didn't even know about his career. I learned this. There's stuff I knew about it before, but this is just a great documentary. But the best documentary for Nightmare on Elm Street is obviously Never Sleep Again. If you love Nightmare on Elm Street, this is the documentary for you. It's a 2-disc set, 2-disc Blu-ray set, and it's packed to the gills. This is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. If you like the franchise, this covers basically the entire franchise. I do wish that they would have been able to get Johnny Depp and Patricia Arquette there to film interviews and stuff, but we all know that that's probably never going to happen, and that's cool and everything. And I do wish that they would have covered the remake a little bit more than what they did. But in general, this is the best documentary we will probably ever get, and that I'm okay with that. Now we're going to go to the Nightmare on Elm Street films, proper. Now, I want to make this clear. There's 9 films in the franchise. I love each one of them. There's not a movie in this list that I hate. There's just a ranking of how much I love these movies, right? Obviously my number 1 is there for a reason, and I'll get to that. And I will describe somewhat why I have them ranked as low as I do. But we're gonna get this. This is gonna cover chronologically Nightmare on Elm Street 1, Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge, 3: The Dream Warriors, 4: The Dream Master, 5: The Dream Child, 6, which is Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, 7, which is the New Nightmare, 8, which is Freddy vs. Jason, and is also the remake with Jackie Earle Haley. That's chronologically the release of the movies, but in my order, my rankings, we're going to start off with number 9, and that is Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, the remake. This movie is fun. It is a good movie. I do enjoy this movie. There are a lot of things I do like about this movie, or there are a lot of things I do not like about this movie. The 2 main things that I hate about this movie is the CGI. And in particular, just one scene. That's the Freddy coming out of the wall over Nancy's bed. That looks so bad. Where if you watch the original from the 1984, mind you, you know, this is 26 years later, and it looks that bad. Um, I love the nods to everything. I do actually like the fact that they went there with the child molestation stuff. I do think they made a mistake where they could have, they could have easily, excuse me, they could have easily, went a different way with it, where he was actually framed and he actually wasn't a child molester. I think that would have been a very interesting take. The only other thing I will say is the main actress, the Nancy in this movie, I can't think of her name right off the top of my head. I'm trying to see if it's listed on the back, if I can see it on the back real quick. I do not see it right offhand. But the point is, the actress herself, she seems like in this whole movie she doesn't want to be there. And I'm not talking about in character where the character doesn't want to be in this situation or that situation or involved in being chased by a bird. I'm talking about the actress herself. She just doesn't seem like she wants to even be in the movie. That she doesn't like the movie at all, or she just and it to me it comes across with that. But I still like this movie. I love the introduction of the micro naps and everything, and there's a lot of the good things going on with this movie, but there's a lot of bad things going on with this movie, and it is out of the 9 movies, it is my least favorite of the movies. Okay, coming in at number 8 is Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Again, there's not a movie in this franchise I hate, but out of the Robert Englund movies, this is my least favorite. I like the idea of that he's able to invade an unborn child's dreams through the mother and be able to reach his other victims through the child's dreams and stuff. I like that. It's interesting. It's an interesting idea. But there's just a lot of this. The effects are great, and that's one thing I will say with most of these movies, with the exception of the remake, the effects are great, and most of them are practical, and they're amazing. But this movie, just to me, it just some of the kills are really good, but I just don't really care that much about what's going on in the movie most of the time, and that's pretty bad when you look at it. But I enjoyed the movie. I love Freddy Krueger, and this is Robert Englund, and it's Freddy. I understand why some people do love this movie, but it's just, to me, it's my least favorite of the Robert Englund Freddy's. But I still, like I said, I love all these movies. Coming in at number 7, we have 1985's Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge. Now, I'm probably gonna get hate for this movie and for this ranking, not for this movie. But I never really loved this movie. To me, when I watch this movie, I look at this as like an alternate version of Freddy, kind of like the New Nightmare is, because it just doesn't fit with the rest of the movies, in my opinion. It just doesn't fit. I do enjoy the movie to an extent, and I don't care about the gay subplots. I don't care about the gay undertone. Whatever. That is what it is. I'm not a huge fan of the character Jesse. He just never really did anything. He came off more annoying to me than anything else in this movie. He comes off that way. I don't like I do like some of the abilities that Freddy gets in this movie, but they're not even mentioned again, or they're never even remotely hinted at in any other movies. There's very little to nothing to do with the first movie, and they don't even mention this movie ever again in any of the other films. They don't mention Jesse. They don't mention anything about what happened in this movie. So it's almost like this movie didn't exist in the franchise, or you know what I mean? So that's why when I watch this franchise, I look at this as an alternate movie. I watch this after I watch 1, 3, 4, 5, even 6. I watch it at the same time I watch like New Nightmare and stuff. And sometimes I don't even watch 4, 5, and 6. I just skip from 1, 3 to New Nightmare because that's Heather Langenkamp and Robert Englund. What else? What more do you want? But I do like this movie. But there are things that it comes down to in at number 7, and that's why. Coming in at number 6 is Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Masters. Or The Dream Master. This movie's an odd one. I mean, yes, we have peak Freddy in this. Yes, the effects are amazing. And we have peak, MTV Freddy in this. But the idea that the main character, first and foremost, Patricia Arquette didn't return to the movie. And for whatever reason, I'm going to not even discuss that because it's not even worth discussing why she did or did not. Either way, even if she did, they killed off her character like in the opening scene. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen a movie that was made in, 1988, but I don't know. It's just tough. I don't really get the whole the main girl in this movie starts taking the abilities of her friends and stuff. It's like, what? Okay. And then she kind of loses it in the last movie. Okay, what? Alright. Sure, I guess. But I do have a lot of fun with this movie, and this is kind of a good spot for it. Number 6. We're getting to the halfway point. Now, the next 5 movies are... It was really hard for me to rank these movies because I love each one of these movies for different reasons. And so coming in at number 5 for me is a movie that a lot of people hate. It's Freddy's Dead. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. I love this movie. I had so much fun with this movie. This, for a long time, was my favorite of the franchise. I would go back and we would rewatch this movie on repeat sometimes. I just have such a blast with this movie. It's out there. It's wacky. I get it. The soundtrack is amazing. I just love this movie. I don't shy away from it. At one point when I was making this list, I had this all the way up as my number 3 choice. So that's how much I love this movie and how much I really just debated on the top 5 of which one. I knew which one. I know what my number 1 is. That's always going to be my number 1. But for me, this movie, I think number 5 in the top 5. Number 5, I think that's a good spot for it, and I'm going to keep it there. For those of you that hate this movie, why? It's a fun time. It's a fun ride. It's a friggin' blast. And for people like Cosplay Chris, who absolutely adore this movie, I'm right with you, buddy. Alright, coming in at number 4 is another movie that I absolutely adore, and it's just fun. I wanted to put this higher, but I just... 2 of the 3 movies left, to me, are pretty much masterpieces. But this one is so much fun. It's Freddy vs. Jason. This came out in 2003. It is the final Robert Englund movie. Sad to say it is, but that's the truth. It is what it is, right? This movie is amazing. This movie is so fun. I have such a blast with this movie. I think this is the perfect union of Freddy and Jason. This is probably my favorite portrayal of Freddy in general. I love the humor he has in this. I love the dark enough twist in this. I love the look of this. This is my favorite Freddy glove. There's so much in this movie that I absolutely adore. The one thing that knocks it down just a little bit for me, which is why I don't have it number 3 or number 2, is it's going up against some real bangers, is I'm not a huge fan of the final fight. Like the ending of the final fight. I don't like the fact that technically Jason won that fight. To me, no. Jason's just a big, hulky, to me, it's kind of a mindless creature, right? Freddy is calculating, he's cold, he's quick, he's agile. He's a smart villain. That bugs me because I am a Freddy Krueger fan much more than I am a Jason fan. But I do love this movie. I love how they blended the 2 franchises together. And I adore this movie. Since this come out, I've probably watched this more than most of the other movies of the Nightmare franchise in general because I have such a blast with it. The soundtrack is amazing again. It's just a great movie. Coming in at number 3 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. To me, this is pretty close to a masterpiece of a movie. This is so ahead of its time, and it's such a fresh take on horror. I could tell why Scream became what it was because of this movie. And it was kind of a testing ground for Scream, right? And I do like the Scream franchise too, so don't get me wrong there. But this to me is a better movie than the Scream movies. Plus, it has Robert Englund in it. Come on, Heather Langenkamp. Come on, this movie's amazing. If you have not watched this movie, or if you haven't watched it in a long time, give it a rewatch. This movie it's top tier. Coming in at number 2 is the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, a lot of people would have this as their number 1, and I understand why. I get it. When I was originally making this list, I was going to put this at number 5. I really was, because I have so much fun with Freddy's Dead and Freddy versus Jason. But I understand the significance of this movie. I understand how large this movie is. I understand that if it wasn't for this movie, we wouldn't have a Freddy Krueger. We wouldn't have the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I understand all that. But I'll be honest with you, I did not become a fan of this franchise because of this movie. The first time I saw this movie, I was 5, maybe 6 years old, and I saw it. It was either it was rented on a VHS tape, or it was on TV somewhere. And I remember watching it. I remember thinking it's an okay movie. I saw nothing that really jumped at me that this is a great movie at that time, you know. And I never had nightmares for Freddy Krueger or anything. I didn't even think it was that cool, this movie or anything. Now I look back at it, the more I've seen it, you know, as an adult and understanding the whole psychology of it, and I get why people love this movie so much. This is probably the closest to a masterpiece of the franchise. It's just not my favorite of the franchise. But it does deserve to be up in the top 2 or 3 movies. And that's why I have it at number 2. But I became a fan of this franchise because of my number 1 choice, and that is Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. I adore this film. This is a movie that made me a Freddy Krueger fan. Period. End of story. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I am a Freddy Krueger fan because of this movie, and I will be a Freddy fan for the rest of my life because of this film. This movie is the only thing that I would change about this movie at all is I would not have killed off Nancy. I really want, as a fan, I want more of Nancy I want more of Heather Langenkamp and Nancy in these films. I get it. It was a good send-off. It was a good death, and the effects of this movie are top-notch. The cast is great. I love the fact that it's set up in like a mental institution, and there's so many great things about this movie that I can't gush about this movie enough. This is, to me, the best Nightmare on Elm Street movies there is. It is my favorite, and it will always be my favorite. But yeah, that's my rankings. Let me know down in the comments down below. What were your rankings? Do you agree with my listings? Do you disagree? Why do you disagree? And also, maybe let me know. Do you want me to do do you want me to rank the Halloween films, or the Friday the 13th films, or the Child's Play films? Now, granted, if you do want me to rank those, I'm going to have to rewatch a lot of them, because some of those movies, I'm not a huge Halloween or Friday the 13th fan. I have them all. I have access to them all. I'm just not a huge fan of those franchises, but I am willing to do a ranking for it, right? I'm willing to do it. I would just have to rewatch some of them, because some of them I've only seen once or twice, or I haven't seen it in years. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you guys for everything. Hit that like button, subscribe, share, please, and ring that notification bell so you know when I have another video out. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I'll catch you guys later.